Hello, virtual world lovers. Today we're gonna talk about a big change, the end of Ibiza and the start of a new project. Smaller but more conscient, more feasible, more realizable, and more stable. Okay, so sometimes we've got to take one step back, then we will be able to take later on two steps forward. And this is what has to happen with Ibiza. It breaks my heart, it breaks my soul. I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm 52. But I still think I would like to cry because we are going to lose this wonderful, beautiful, complete, diverse, fun, free, and friendly sim called Ibiza Life. One day, I hope I can have again a full region, and I can make an even better Ibiza life. But life is how it is. I am going to move to another land. It will be a full region, even better because it's a 30k full region, not a 20k prims full region, which means the server it's a bit better and the lag will be even less. There was never lag in Ibiza. I'm obsessed about that in all details, but there is even less lag there, possibilities of lag, because it's a better server. But the catch is we are not going to have a full sim. We are going to have a quarter of a sim. One step back, and maybe later, I hope so, I'm pretty sure I will be able to give two steps forward. This is what happens in life. Um, Paying for a full region in Second Life, in this case not to Linda Labs but to a landlord, to Linda Labs, considering taxes it's even more expensive, but paying to a private landlord costs around $260 per month, real dollars, not lindens. So either you have a lot of spare money in your income and you can be happy with 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the amount of sims you like. Either you don't have it and you have to do business, which is what happens with many people. They have to do business to be able to pay for half of the sim or for the whole sim, or in some cases have profit and being able to make money in Second Life. I tried for 8 months Ibiza Life. I was not able to make a lot of income. I am the only responsible for that. Although I would like to remember everyone, I tried real hard. I had clubs, I have houses, I have a lot of fun stuff. Every single day I went to Facebook and I posted several different features from Ibiza to bring people in. The hotel, the VIP hotel, the free hotel, the amenities, the free fun amenities everyone can use for free, the possibility that people can do events and shows and exhibitions for free in these lands. I did some 3 or 4 concerts, live concerts. I tried to bring people as tenants to the houses. They were very affordable and with a lot of prims. The club, it's going really well, Wicked Desires. I tried other business like the AFK, and I tried also an outboards palace. But regardless of all my tries and being on Facebook every day, posting on some 20, 25 groups, almost every day posting different stuff about Ibiza. We are featured in destination guides, official in Second Life. Even though, and also I also posted on Instagram, in Twitter. There's a big community of Second Lifers in Twitter. but I was not able to entice people to rent from me, so I could not even reach an income that would pay half of the expenses of the sim. Not even that. I don't regret a single thing. I love this sim. I think everyone will remember this sim, and people who has been here will know I can do a good work. I'm not talking just for myself. I'm talking for all the people I know here, and they say they love this sim. Um, so I think I did a good work. Maybe I was too dispersed, like hotels, houses, clubs. Uh, uh, Maybe I try to do too many things at once, and this is part of what brings me to my decision on downgrading my lands. Okay, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen here is I will close Ibiza in 5 days from now, and I have already rented. I will show you a quarter of a full region. So Ibiza was a full region, 20k prims, only for us, only for me. It's too much money. I had also some issues in with PayPal, and together with I was not able to have spare money up front to have the SIM paid for like a 1 month or even 2 weeks up front. So that led to the situation where I was paying, I never stopped paying all these 8 months. So we're talking about $260 plus 8 months. It's a lot of money. It's almost 2,000 euros or dollars almost. And I was paying every day, but sometimes when I went to pay the rent, it was just one day left, and I paid for more days, but it was just like close calls. And I had an issue with PayPal. They said you cannot have a PayPal account with a crazy name that you have in the past. Now, the new policy, must have an account name that has your exact name in the bank, blah, 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 blah. So I had like a week fighting with PayPal in Portugal, more than international, and they finally managed to allow me to create a new account with my official name, an email, and everything is done, problem is solved. But that led to the situation that there was only 1 day or 2 days left to pay for Ibiza rental when the problem arose. And that problem caused me to be late on Ibiza rental for 4 days. The official landlord, Zoa Islands, 2 days of late rent, they are okay with it. You can send tickets and say, don't worry, I still want to rent, nothing's wrong, I'm gonna pay the delay days, no problem. Okay, if it's more than 2 days, what they do is they give you another grace period, but they block the SIM. No one can get inside the SIM, which I think it's not correct. I understand that if everyone stops or delays their rentals, and these guys have loads of SIMs, if they have everyone 4 days late on their rental, they are screwed because they have to pay Lina Labs. I'm pretty sure Lina Labs will allow them for some delay, but it's not a good business practice, and it's not their fault. So we should pay our rent in time, and they should be able to pay their rental to Linden Labs in time, because they are professional, and they want to be in time with Linden Labs, and it's up to us to be in time with them. That's pretty fair. What I think is not right is when I came back and I paid almost 5 days that were late. I paid for those 2 days and a half when Ibiza was locked. They got those days paid, but we could not use the SIM. I don't have many tenants now. I only have 2 tenants, but I have a big club, Wicked Desires, from Sleeping Beauty, and they were not able to do their parties. What I did was I bought a very small land in another SIM, and they were able, if they wanted, to do their parties on that small land just for them. The land was offered to them, and they were able to do the parties. But this is easier said than done, because you have people who are used to a location, they have their stuff and their gadgets inside their club, Wicked Desires. You don't just smack your fingers and you are doing parties on another small land. Anyway, I was so worried with them that I provided that to them, so it was the least I could do. But I decided that something I always said in other videos about business in Second Life, and it's an advice I always give to everyone: start small, small land, small business, and if you manage to make that small land, that small business grow, and you have more demands than you can offer, so you have like 2 houses to rent and you have 4 people that want to rent from you, so you see what you can offer, there is more demand than you can give, then you expand because you are sure your business it's growing and it's wanted. Unless you have a lot of spare money and it's just another hobby, Second Life, even if it's a business, it won't wait on your income, but it waits on mine. I'm a freelancer and I'm not in conditions of being able to give $266 per month just for a sim without any return, or just like the income I have in Ibiza pays for it's like 1/10 of the sim cost. My bad, my fault. I was not able to create an original different offer that people would like to go and come and use. Some tenants went and rented for me and then they stopped renting. There was no issues with anyone, no dramas, no personal dramas, nothing like that, no problems at all. But people just went away to other places, maybe because people have their reasons, maybe they wanted bigger places, or maybe they don't want a place where they don't own the land. It's a model I use in Ibiza. People never own the land, they were just using the land with some perms. I think it was enough perms and freedom, total freedom for them to do what they wanted, a lot of prims and affordable, but maybe people want to own the land or whatever, I don't know, or maybe people want mainland or other better sims than mine. So we have to be humble sometimes, but we have to be balanced, okay? If we are mature people and we are intelligent people and mature, we have to mix both things 50-50. We have to be humble and say, okay, I was not able to provide the services that would bring the income to Ibiza, and that's my fault. But we can also be happy with what we do and be aware that what we do, it's good or bad. And from the feedback I get from everyone at uses Ibiza, I'm pretty sure, and my own thoughts and my own conclusions about this project is that I did a good sim, I did a fun sim, I did what people enjoyed, but I was not, maybe I had a good product or a good place and I was not so good in marketing or in bringing people in. I don't know. I tried every day on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. The YouTube channel, of course, also attracted people because people saw in the channel what Ibiza had to offer. But anyways, concluding and summing up, it's a pity. Every time I think all the features Ibiza has, the VIP hotel, the free hotel, the Expos Plaza, these beaches, the stage, the wonderful underwater, the old town, the cathedral, all the features that Ibiza had to offer, so many ocean to have fun. It's a pity I cannot use all of that, but I'm going to downgrade. I'm not going away. And sometimes when we close something, or we move home, or we move jobs, or we move friends or places, one door closes and sometimes 2 doors open, and when we end up a project, we also have the opportunity to start fresh on a new place, and that gives us the opportunity to improve and especially to focus. That's what I need to do. This is a full region. I have total control over the sim because I don't have any neighbors, which gave me the chance to do whatever I wanted as I wanted, and I'm gonna lose that. It's not so bad like that because I was very careful. I went from the new landlords. I don't want Zoa Islands because I don't like their attitude. If I were them, what I would do, yes, I would lock the SIM like 2 days late, okay, 4 days late, I lock the SIM, and when people paid back what they owe, I would refund them for those 2 days the SIM was locked. Actually, in my case, I would never lock the SIM. If somebody, I had tenants, I had loads of tenants who were late for 1 week, and I sent messages and I waited, and they came back and paid what they owe. If I have a tenant that is really rude or doesn't answer and it's 1 week, 10 days, well, I decide that I send some final warnings and then I evict the place. And what I think they should do is either they trust me. I've been with them for 8 months. Either they trust me and they wait and they say, okay, it's 5 days, we cannot wait no more. If you don't pay today, you're out. It's all gone. That's okay. It's 4 days, it's 3 days, we give you one more day, whatever. But never, never lock the SIM and wait for me to go and pay. If they lock the SIM, it's because they don't trust me. I'm not sure I'm gonna play. If they don't trust me, they throw me away and say, you're not paying, bye, go away. But I don't think it's fair. So I want new landlords. Of course, the new landlords also have their rules. They have their we can only be late in the rental in 48 hours, 2 days. But paying for a quarter of a SIM does not compare with paying for a full SIM. What I will be paying in the new SIM, the quarter of a SIM, what I will be paying, I will show you right away, the new place. It's like in Ibiza, I pay 2,070 lindens per day, which means when you're paying for a week, it's a whole load of lindens. 2,070 per day. In the new place, it's 4,000 lindens, 4,500 lindens per week. It's completely different, okay? 2 days of Ibiza will give me 1 week in the new place, and I don't need so much income. 4 happy tenants in Ibiza and the club will make it work, and I will even get more income in proportionally than I got here. So like here, my income, my tenants were paying one tenth of the cost of the SIM. In the new place, they will probably be paying around half the cost of the SIM. And anyways, the cost of the quarter of SIM, which is not bad, a quarter of SIM, because sometimes the problem in business, I'm not an expert in business, but I have some experience because I have real life business of my own. I am my own boss, which has good things and bad things. Keeps you up at night. Sometimes we disperse too much. It's like, for example, Amazon. Amazon did not get so successful because they sold everything. Amazon was selling books and they were doing it really well. And then only when they got really big, international, they went and spread and diversified. So I think the fact we are going to a smaller place also means that I won't have the chance to have Old Town, Cathedral, a small village, the main plaza, the beach, the club, blah, 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 the surf point. I will have to choose 5 good things and not 12 good places. And that will force me to focus more on what is really more important. Also, when people get there, they will have a look, and instantly they will have a notion on what it's available. And people won't disperse so much. It's more of a family, cozy gathering when they get there. So I will focus in 5 or 6 good things and not 12 or 20 many things. And that also sometimes is good for business, like focusing, giving more attention to a few things and not dispersing through many. So, because sometimes people, I would love to have 4 sims together, 8 sims together. That's good, but when you have a lot of land and people go there, they can get really lost on what they do and who they find, and even the way they enjoy the sim. If a person goes to a massive sim and there's too many places to see, they get lost. And sometimes when you have a smaller area, you have 4 or 5 key places, good services, good amenities for people. I want to keep the Ibiza spirit there. You will People will enjoy it really more because it's those 5 good places and everything is focused in there. So I'm going to show you what I did. What I did was I went to these websites. Let's open it. I'm on YouTube right now, so I went to I'm not saying this is the only landlords or the first place you should go. They are one of the most competitive in terms of pricing. So Anshek's Shong, Second Life. So these are the Shongs. They are the oldest landlords and most powerful landlords in Second Life. They have a beautiful website where you can search homesteads, full regions, sim rentals, terrains. You have a great filters here. So this is divided by like 5 or 6 different managers. So you can search for different estates, the sim type, the rating, adult or not, the zoning. If it's because if you are renting a whole sim, homestead or full region, that's okay. There's no covenant, no rules. Like, it's all yours. You don't have any neighbors. You do what you want over there as long as you comply with the Second Life TOS terms of service, of course. But when you buy a section, like a half of a sim or a quarter of a sim, like I did now, you will have to obey for some rules, and you gotta be careful with that. And what I discover is the people who offer you less complicated rules. It's ID Shong, okay, ID Shong. Then I didn't want to go there. Okay, ID Shong or Medium Shong or Lorena Shong, which is one of the persons, Lorena, where I in the past I most rented small places. These 3 ones, they have what they call the sim type is homestead or full region. You can choose, and they have the zoning. They have commercial. It's the best zoning if you want to be free and have the best freedom for anything you want to do. Usually in commercial sims, if you buy a parcel, you can do pretty much everything, like clubs, farming, breathables, whatever. If you go for residential or other stuff, there are too many rules. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Azure Islands, Jessica Shong, Surreal, and the other ones. Victoria is also very free. There is a lot of freedom in her commercial sims. I'm not saying the other ones are bad. It depends on what you want. If what you want is your home, your place, your calm, no crazy stuff going around, no lag, a beautiful place, harmony in building, all the neighbors build almost the same, no crazy stuff going around your borders, then you should go for the other ones, okay? What I'm saying is, if you want freedom, because I always like to do build a world where other people come and do things. Either they rent or they have fun or we have concerts or whatever. So I'm not building just for me. So I want to have the freedom to be able to have pretty much everything in my land. If I go, there's a club, there's adult stuff, there's AFK, there's whatever. I don't want to do like, oh, I want to do a club. Oh, you cannot, because this is not commercial, this is residential, you cannot do a club, which makes sense. So I'm not saying the other ones are bad. I'm saying for my goals, Heidi, Lorena, Miriam, and Victoria are the ones who have commercial zoned sims less complicated. The other ones, I went there, I saw some sims where I could rent a quarter of a sim, and they had, even in commercial zoning, they had lots of rules. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do that, don't do that, don't be like this. And I was getting mad, so I found out these four ladies. They all belong to the same business, but it's like big managers. Like this is so big, they have different co-owners or co-managers, and each of them has lots of sims to rent. So, but it's all on the same website. So you can filter, you can go yourself, check the lands and check the covenants. And I went for a sim which was from Heidi. The sim I chose was from Heidi Shong. Well, sometimes you don't find what you want because other people is renting them, so you gotta go with what you have here available with your filters. So Heidi Shong, I went for a sim type full region 30k. Ibiza is in a 20k. I went for a full region 30k, which smaller area gives me more prims, and it also means the sim server, it's better. Ibiza was already great, no lag at all with many parties, and this is even better in terms of server, so much less possibility of lag. So I chose to rent in a full region 30k. I chose zoning commercial. Textures, I was a bit limited. I wanted beautiful sand, but I got like a big sand. The other ones were rock or grass, were really ugly in the ground, because when you don't have a full sim, you have to go with what's there. You rent a half of a sim or a quarter of a sim, you cannot change the texture in the ground, for example, and stuff like that. The size, it's 1/4 of a sim, so it's 16,000 square meters, barely. And the prims was something like 7,500 sims for a quarter of a sim, which is quite good. And I will show you where we landed, where we're gonna have our new home. And as I said, what I'm going to do is focus more. Instead of having so much stuff, I'm gonna choose 5 or 6 differentiated spots. I want to make it even more beautiful than Ibiza. The reason why I'm not going to do Ibiza in the new place is because it's too small to create a replica of Ibiza, even if it's just a harbor or just one bay. It's too small for that, for trying to go replica. And when you are doing a replica, when you are building a replica, you don't have to do it exactly like the city is. I would need like 100 sims to do Ibiza island in Second Life exactly like the real one. But when you are doing a replica, you are very limited because you gotta go with the style of the real place, like the floor, the walls, the buildings. And sometimes you want to do crazy stuff and you have great stuff in your inventory, but they are nothing like the ones that exist in real life on the place, and you are limited. Okay, the advantage is that people identify with a real place, which is cool, like London sim, Paris, stuff like that. So the sim is attractive because it's a replica and people identify with that. There's a sense of identity, and that's great. But I'm gonna lose that, but I'm gonna gain freedom, because when you are not building a replica of a place, when you are building a place from scratch from your head, you have total freedom. Whatever you find it's best on your inventory, whatever you already have, whatever you want to build or add to your lands, it's total freedom, so you can be creative. Of course, I'm gonna create a theme, a style, and when you create a theme or a style, you are also tied to some type of buildings and decors and animals. But anyway, there's much more freedom even in the layout of the land, the structures, the homes, whatever. So I will enjoy total freedom. I will use some off-sim stuff also. We have 5 days left in Ibiza, so I'm gonna take some stuff I have here, which is easier than taking away from the inventory, and I'm gonna show you where we are, which has 0 prims yet. So it's right here, landmarks, and there you go. I am thinking about calling it Elysium, I have a big project which nobody joined yet, but I have a crazy project, a crowdfund to create a 4-sim wonderful world, but that's another video I did. But I want to call this also Elysium. Maybe it's a startup, a small startup for the biggest Elysium. You can check one of my latest videos. I don't know why the hell we're not going to get in there fast. I hope it doesn't crash. Usually not. Although the latest version of Firestorm sometimes it's a bit weird. I'm pretty sure it's about to crash when it takes so long here, but let's hope not. So yeah, pretty much in here you can find everything. You even have an idea of the textures of the lands, and when you decide you want to check some land, like you open a new tab so you don't lose your filters here, you open a new tab and you automatically have these and these, and you open inside of Second Life and you go visit. So pretty much this is a good resource for people to find what they want, and the filters are more than enough. They even have themes, tropical island, country, Asian, modern fantasy. So if you put too much filters, you probably won't find what you're looking for because other people is renting. But it's a very nice way, and you can go straight ahead to homestead. And for regions, you have always the position. Like this is our full sims, there's no position, but if you are renting lands, they will let you know in advance if it's a corner or an edge, the amount of prims, the weekly price, the size of the land, all that stuff. So this is great. And also a thing, yeah, crash. Yeah, I'm doing a live, so why not? It's a good reason for crash. Usually I don't crash, but this is a live, so in life we must crash because yeah, it's a live. It's explained. So yeah, let's go. I rarely crash. I don't have a good I don't have a high-end computer. I use a low-end laptop. It's a modern one, recent one. I bought it recently, less than a year ago. But yeah, that's it. It's a live video, so it had to crash. So yeah, you pretty much find everything you want right here on their website. Okay, unchecks.com, Second Life Lands. And if you have some doubts, I think pretty much they give you everything you need to know and visit the land. And when you get to the land, you'll have already, like you spend 5 minutes there, you can right away buy the land. Pay the rental box is right there next to the land. There's no office, you gotta go and find your box. It's right there, the box, you pay it. Another great thing I like, so like when you choose your land, you don't even have to speak with anyone. Just go there, buy it, pay the rental box, and start terraforming, start creating whatever you're creating. Be aware of the zoning, be aware of the covenants. I made sure this land had a great covenant, and I don't know exactly where the hell am I again. It's an old sim, so we are going to the place I told you, which is, I hope now we can land there, Elysium Coral Homes. I call it Elysium Coral Homes. Elysium because it's one of the biggest projects I have in Second Life. Create the 4-sim world that I described in an old video. And Coral Homes because it's an old project. I had several sims called Coral Homes, like a resort place. So I made sure there were a few conditions gathered in this quarter of sim. As you can see, it's a lot of land. I'm going to terraform. I'm going to create a generous ocean around here. I'm not sure exactly how the layout will be. I made sure it was a commercial zoning. It's a 30k sim, so good server. I also made sure there was no issues in having clubs, breathables. I'm not going to bring breathables, but when you make sure all those things are allowed, you can be certain you are in a land when many things are allowed. You won't find troubles when you decide to create a club or a store or whatever. You're not gonna have the sim owner or your neighbors telling, hey man, you're doing a club, you cannot do that, blah blah blah. No, because it's specified on the covenant. You can check here in the covenants. They have lots of rules. Pay the rent, and the region is unzoned, mixed. Clubs are allowed, shops are allowed, residential, malls, breeders, clans, farm, RPG, ban lines allowed. I don't use ban lines, I hate that, but okay. Land can be joined, subdivided, and resold. So you can sub-rent to other people as long as you yourself pay the rental box for the whole land you have. You gotta make sure the covenant is like this. When you start finding covenants like do this, don't do this, do that, don't do that, don't build walls higher than blah blah, go away from there, unless you want just your quiet little home just for you or your partner or a few friends, and you don't want to create great projects or crazy projects. If it's just like that, yeah, you can go for a residential area. So I also made sure that I had a good texture. It's not the best one, but there was only in the filters I created, which is freedom of building, a quarter of a sim in a full region, 30k, and one of those 4 ladies that have good conditions in commercial zoning. Through all those filters, there were only 2 lands with sand. This is one of them. They are exactly the same thing. I also paid some attention to the name, so I could go for this one and another quarter just like this one from the same person, but the name of the sim was terrible, like cove blah blah. It was like 3 words, very difficult to identify. Then sometimes when you have a sim that is not just your home and you want to call people or tell people about your sim, or in a YouTube channel, it's good to have a sim that you can easily identify. For example, Ibiza was in a great sim. It was Taylor. I said, oh, give me the address, I don't know, go to Taylor, search Taylor in the map, you get there, and that's fine. And that helps a lot, but here is the hits. Okay, there was 2 choices, the hits. I cannot change this because it's the original sim name. And I also made sure they allowed off-sim stuff, because since my land is not very big, having this off-sim stuff will help me make it look a little bigger and cozier and more tropical. Unfortunately, I cannot change now the environment, the way things look, but I will try to use other tricks like putting things underwater, creating the flooring of underwater and some surface bluish water that helps out, because this is the very normal environmental use, shared environment. This is what they have. Anyway, the water is quite transparent, so it's cool. If I don't like this sand. Like Ibiza sand is much more thinner and more realistic. This sand is just a little bit gross, but it's better than dark grass. Like all the other places I found were like these ones. They are not exactly ugly, but it's not what you want. Like if you create an underwater area, you don't want to have all this grass underwater. It's really ugly. So I prefer sand, and then I will lay out some corals and stuff like that. Is it my impression, or these guys are able to create different shared environments? I think so, because this guy, oh boy, don't tell me we have good news. Yeah. Oh, come on. World, region, environments. No, I'm not able. Why I'm not able, which makes sense because I don't own the whole sim. Why does this guy has a different environment here? Like, look at this. What a weird thing. As I told you, Second Life is so complex that we never get to understand everything. Not this one. This guy is a normal. Oh, another thing I liked a lot. I wouldn't mind if like this is for lands. Like everyone here has a quarter of a sim. I also enjoy it a lot. I also search for places that have this type of hills dividing. That means the sim owner, which is renting to us, is not picky, not say, oh, don't build this wall, don't build trees near the wall. But no, he really wants everything divided, and people are free. Like these guys already did here some rocks to divide. The rocks are higher than those divisions, so I will also put some rocks around. So this type of layout means like, okay, in total independence for everyone. You don't have to be building like your neighbor, because like each one to its own, and this reinforces that a lot. If there were no divisions, they could start creating rules like don't create water near your neighbor border, don't do this, don't do that, blah blah blah, and I hate that. Also a good thing, because you cannot be too picky or you won't find any place suitable for you. But a good thing that I really enjoyed is the fact that these guys none of these neighbors uses ban lines, which means everyone should be nice. I will send note cards to these 3 neighbors, like letting them know what's the project, the channel, and like saying, hello, I'm your good neighbor, if there's any problem let me know, blah blah blah, which is important when you are sharing land with others. It's also a sim where I don't see any place crowded. Maybe our place will be the most crowded one, I don't know, but that means you don't have the whole sim, the whole server being stretched to the limit with lots of clubs and crazy stuff going on. So now we are ready to have a new home. Okay, this place is smaller, it has more prims. The other hypothesis I had was, and I thought a lot about this, was, okay, instead of going to a smaller full region, I can downgrade to a homestead. So instead of having Ibiza in a full region, I can pretty much, like I could take some stuff away, but I could pretty much replicate Ibiza in a homestead. Of course, it would cap all the prims. I would have to take some stuff away, some trees, whatever, but I pretty much could do it because it would be a full sim and total freedom, like environment, a lot of land, a lot of freedom for everything. Less prims, of course, but that would bring a problem. First of all, Ibiza is already using 15,000 prims. As I said, I can take away many things, they are not necessary, but we would have only 5,000 prims total for a whole homestead and 20 avatars allowed, and that is the problem. So I prefer to be in a place where we have, like, in only 1/4 of a sim we have 7,500 prims, and we have an excellent server. If 100 people shows up in a party, pretty much we can handle it, because this is a 30k region, not a 20k prims region. So that's always theoretical, because when Linden Labs tests the sim servers, I'm pretty sure they say 100, but you should only allow like 70 avatars tops, because I'm sure that Linden Labs does not test this Sims capacity with avatars filled with pets and blings and stuff like that, and huts that create a very heavy load per avatar. They test with normal avatars using normal clothes, not elaborate. So when they say 100 people, it's healthier to have like 60-70 people tops. But hey, Wicked Desires, sometimes they bring like 15-18 people. My live concerts already had some 16 people, some of them. So we should not limit ourselves to a homestead. So that's why I have I had to downgrade somehow, and also because I think it's very healthy for me to have a smaller land, not to disperse totally, have lots of crazy things spread all around. and just focus on 5 good areas, 5 good services. I'm gonna have the free hotel, I'm gonna have the Wicked Desires, will be on one of the main buildings here. The tenants will not be just using the parcel. The tenants, the future tenants, will be buying the parcel. They will have full power over their parcel, full control, and the prim limit will be tied to the land area, so no stress about going over the prim, stuff like that. There's only going to be one rule. The layout will be something like this. We're gonna have a predominant place where Wicked Desires will be having their club. It will be one of the main buildings, so this is a party, not a sim, but a party place, a party land. There's gonna be ocean here, maybe the ocean will enter a little bit around here to have a wider area. Maybe there is a canal here or 2 canals here, and there will be a central ocean pool where the fishes from the ocean can swim there, coral, stuff like that. I will probably create some terraces, like here the ground will be higher, then higher again and higher again, like pyramids, stuff like that, some waterfalls. I create some beautiful stuff here around this with maybe some waterfalls. So I prefer to be in a place there's no danger of lag. It's smaller area, but there's no danger of lag. There's a lot of frames to build with more ease, and there's no stress about having many people doing things here. So I prefer to have a smaller land, but totally functional in terms of prims and server, then downgrade to a homestead which is the same size of a full region, but there's much less server. If you start putting too many seagulls in the sky, lag starts showing up and only 20 people can go there. So that was my choice. I had to downgrade somehow, and this was my choice. And the final thing that made me decide, okay, this is the best choice, was really the need to make a smaller place, more cozy, more concentrated, more focused. You are in the pool, you know there's a hotel there, you know there's the beach there and the club there, and there's 2 guys over there in the club, and you have an awareness of the whole land. Then you're not lost in Ibiza in some place, which I would prefer to keep Ibiza in a full region, but life is what it is, and this is like being reborn. I would never, even if I was confined to a small little parcel in Second Life, I would never give up Second Life. It's a dream I have. It's a distant dream, but one day I want to make a living out of Second Life. I'm not very, very certain I would manage to do it, because even to break even in a business is difficult here, especially if you have land. But that's for another video. So this is our new place. I call it Elysium Coral Homes. Maybe I will just call it Elysium. It will be the startup of what I hope becomes a 4 full regions huge island, but that's the other video I did a few days ago. You can check my videos list in the live section and check for that challenge of Elysium. But for now, it's our small Elysium. No Ibiza. It's gonna be, I'm not sure exactly about the layout, but this is one of the great things in Second Life. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but most of the old people that it's experienced in Second Life, they have a very old saying, like it's at least, which is everything starts with a cube. Come on, this is beautiful. So we are now on that phase. Okay, I already put this, yes. But I put a cube first, actually, because I was like measuring some stuff, and I stretched the cube to see some stuff. So I'm able to terraform at will. I cannot change the environment, but it's good to be able to terraform and create my own layout, and I'll create some off-sim stuff here to make it really cool and fun. So the layouts, I'm not sure, but the theme is still will be like summer, holidays, tropical resort, something like that. So I will keep the spirit of a sunny place, beach, tropical, fun, summer holidays. So it won't be Ibiza. It would be silly to try to replicate something here from Ibiza. It's too small to create what could be like. Almost the harbor would fill almost all the land. So we're going from scratch on a summer resort tropical place. There will only be 4 houses for rent, to rent. People will rent by buying the parcel and then they pay the rental box, but the parcel will be owned by them. And people, the house, like, it's like 4 houses. Like I envision, I'm not sure exactly where, but I envision one big house here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. Like pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 big houses, and the house that people can rent, they buy the land, the parcel is theirs, full control. The only thing they will not be able to do will be to create ban lines. They won't be authorized either to use security orbs. I hate that. Like sometimes people don't want to go into a house, but they are just nearby. They by accident they step on a little bit of the parcel. Yeah, security orb, boo, ejected. That's awful. And since people are buying the parcels for 1 linden, then they pay the rental. Since people is buying the parcels, they have full power. They can like ban someone from the parcel. They can eject people from the parcel. They can give powers to their partners. So it's even less work for me in those cases when people want to change something on their parcel. They don't need any more to come to me to do it. Although Ibiza had already a lot of perms for tenants, but it's different to own the parcel. So the only thing people cannot do in their parcels will be returning the house. They cannot return the house. But they can add a lot of prims. They cannot terraform. They cannot use ban lines or security orbs. All the rest is free. They can do a church or a brothel, whatever they want. Breed horses, breed Pokemons, whatever they want to do in their parcel. And the houses will have access to beach, sandy beach, and to the ocean. I will buy some specific sandy beaches. Layouts so we don't have these ugly gross sands. So 4 houses. I already have 2 tenants that will take those houses. I will keep the free hotel, maybe smaller. I don't know if I'm gonna do the VIP hotel here, maybe not. The club will be like central here in a higher ground. And we have a lot of ocean. We'll be able to have fun with the water vehicles, stuff like that. There will be a place for concerts, for a stage, all of that. So, and I'm gonna create some stairs and pathways like around here over the waterfalls. People will like be able to walk in here in some roads created right here, like lookouts and stuff like that over the whole scene. It's gonna be beautiful. But this brings me to the end of the video and to a very positive way of thinking and enthusiasm, which is, since I don't have to replicate a real place, I have more freedom. And look at this. This is a white canvas, man. This is more than enough to make loads of things. Then if I have success in keeping and growing the community in a quarter of a sim, and if I have success in tenants and business, then I will be able to have success and expand and buy half of a sim, and then I will buy a whole sim and then 4 sims and stuff like that. But as I always said in many videos about business, sometimes starting small, developing small doesn't give you the strength. Like every day, not every day, but some days of the week I woke up and I said, oh boy, there's only 1 day left in Ibiza rental, let's go and pay 3 more days. And that's too much. Like, we gotta have some peace of mind. When you are paying a lot, that will also condition what you offer to your community, because when you have a sim that it's directed to a community, the thing is, you are in such a hurry to make money that the things you put on the land and the prices you do and the rentals and the services you offer are always stressed by that. In here I can do lower rentals, I can give more premiums to people. I'm relaxed. It's not going to be a pain in the ass like to pay 4,500 lindens per week. It's something I can do. I have enough income in real life to do that and not be in stress every day. And if I don't make much income, that will not jeopardize the project. I can go for months and on without having a big income here, and that will be good because it will leave me a lot of time and peace of mind and time to do great things, better things, and manage the community and focus in 5 good things instead of 20 wild things. Okay, so pretty much this is what's gonna happen. We have Ibiza for 5 more days, original sim. Of course, that's very important. If you are still with me in this video, that's very important. Of course, I don't have my sim, the original Ibiza, blocked for 2.5 days, and then I force people to move to a new smaller land. I don't do that in a very light way. I will compensate my 2 tenants and the club for all this trouble, for all those 2.5 days, almost 3 days with the Ibiza blocked, the need to change all the stuff here to the new place, the trouble, all of that will be compensated. I will offer 4 weeks free of rental for the tenants and for the club. And I will also lower a bit the rentals, offering more space and more premiums than before in Ibiza. So I'm really taking care of people. Nobody's perfect. You cannot predict what's going to happen with your life. Things change, everything changes. Sims open, sims close in Second Life. Pretty much everyone knows about great sims have closed. I don't like just like close, go away, cry baby. I like downgrade, start over, go, take the opportunity to create new things, new visions, learn with what failed, what was working in Ibiza, what was not working so much, and just focus on what was better for everyone, and that's it. So what I meant to say is that we learn and we adapt, and that's what we have to do. So I just wanted to make clear, I will compensate generously the tenant. I don't have only 4 people in Ibiza. I have a lot of people using Ibiza in several ways, but officially, formally, paying rental to me, it's 4 people. So I will take care of them. They will have free rentals until January, mid-January. So they will have their whatever they do, business, whatever. They will enjoy it with no costs, because nobody's perfect. You cannot guess what's going to happen, but what you have to do to be professional, it's when somehow you fail to people or you force people to endure some situations. If you want to be fair and professional, you compensate them however you want. If you want them to keep paying rental, you refund them some money. In my case, I opted for you come, you enjoy 1 month free rental, totally free, with the same, with more space than you had before, with more premiums and a lower rental. And I'm pretty much sure 1/4 of a sim, if we like what we have here, it will be more than enough for us to have our place, and more cozy, more community driven, and more focused on 5 good things and not 20 crazy things. Right now, the last thing I would like to leave clear is that sometimes it's a of course I don't have pleasure in closing Ibiza. The problem in Second Life is like, if I could freeze my buildings in Ibiza, like if I could store Ibiza, and one day when I had more money, like open it up again, that would be great. What hurts me more in closing Ibiza, it's not the fact that I'm not going to be able to use it. We are going to have great things here. I will make sure that happens. What hurts me more is that once I close Ibiza, I will have either to take some objects into my inventory, and I will not be able to replicate exactly what I had. And I really liked it because it took me a long time. I changed stuff, I renewed stuff, I replaced stuff. I was so careful with lag and the contents. Then there is no way I can store Ibiza like it is. That's what hurts me more. Like, I will have to start over again. So I will make sure I take great pictures now. I create a floor plan of actual Ibiza. It doesn't have to be one day if I can open again. It doesn't have to be exactly the same thing, but I really liked how it was and people enjoyed it. So that's what hurts me more. It's like in OpenSim, which is a replica of Second Life, it works just like Second Life. It just has less people and less content, but it works just like the same like Second Life and less economy, but it's much cheaper to have land. In OpenSim, if the objects in your sim are your objects, or you buy objects that have a special feature which is export that doesn't exist in Second Life, you are able, if you are careful with what you build, you are able to store a whole sim or a whole cluster of sims in a file that you can hold in your computer or in the cloud, and like 1 year after, you can go open a new sim and you throw the old file and you get your sim back just exactly as it was. Even the flying birds and the swimming fish will all be there in the exact position. So in OpenSim you can store a whole sim, but there's just one catch, which is you have to be sure all you build it's export stuff. If you buy great stuff that it's not export, when you store the file, your buildings, the stuff you build will be there, export stuff will be there, but anything that was not export will disappear on that storage. But you can do it. In Second Life you cannot, so you cannot store a whole sim. That's what hurts me more. This set, since we are talking about a phoenix, which is reborn from the ashes and the fire, let's be Phoenix. We have a white canvas here. I have an idea of what I want. I want something modern, light, minimalistic, natural, summer, sunny, holiday resort. Not too many buildings, not too much construction. I want to make it more natural than Ibiza, more wild, like feet on the sands, stuff like that. Not so many walkways, not so many built stuff. But I also want some buildings. I want loads of flowers and trees and palm trees and stuff. This is also the reason why I'm happy being in a full region with many prims. And now I'm gonna spend half an hour, 1 hour, maybe 2 hours visiting other sims like this one, where I know there are 4 people using quarter of the sims, and I'm gonna get inspired. Maybe I will find some great solutions, great ideas in one sim and mix them with other great ideas on another sims. So I'm gonna check. I have an idea, as I told you, of the main things I want here, but I want to be really inspired. There's a lot of emotion and novelty in that, because like we are starting from scratch. I love to build. It's one of the things that gives me more pleasure. Like when you build something in Second Life, when you build a place to be used by other people, even if it's just used by you and a few friends, like you are creating something that did not exist before. Like you are being like God. You are bringing something to existence that people will use. Like the world is just a tiny little bit better now that you create there than it was before. It was just a tiny little bit emptier before. Now that you created that, you brought something to the world. The world has a creation, something that spawns. That act, it's just wonderful. It's beautiful. It's like you can do a lousy stuff, nobody wants it, ugly stuff. Okay, that's not the point, okay? Like people have different tastes. That's not the point. The point is that you you make stuff where there was no stuff before. That's an act of creation. It's wonderful. Like, it's like being a god. Okay, I cannot put it in other different way. So I love that, and that's what's going to happen right now. The next 2 or 3 days, I'll bring some stuff from Ibiza, which is great. It's already there. The animals, everything. But I'll go from scratch. So before I decide exactly what I'm gonna do to terraform, where it's gonna be water, no water, the off seams, decorations, the club, the only thing is more urgent is right away to get a place where Wicked Desires can already start bringing stuff into the new place for the club. So we're gonna have great parties here. But it's a great opportunity to create from scratch. I'm really deeply enjoying that part. Like I said, when door closes, sometimes you can open 2 doors when one door closes, because you have to open new doors. So you gotta go. So I love creating. It's something like, you know, that crazy movie with I don't remember the actor now, very well-known actor who did he's so famous. The Dances with Wolves, for example. So I'm talking about the movie. It's not a great movie. It's not a very exciting movie, but it's an original. At least it's a very original movie, which is build it and they will come. You know, like the guy who built the stadium, and then the ghosts went there to play. The old ghosts from. Oh Jesus, I'm getting really old, man. I don't remember stuff. Mel Gibson. That's it. Mel Gibson. I think so. Mel Gibson. Yeah. This is it. Building, and I hope you will come. And that's great. That's just great. I want to have water, terraces, much more nature than before in Ibiza. I want to have a place where you guys land and you say, fucking hell, I want to stay here. Are all the houses taken? Well, actually, I think 3 of the houses, at least 2 of the houses will be taken. One for me, one for Sleeping Beauty, another one for a great Portuguese friend. So there will be only 1 house free to take. Unless you want to go to the free hotel, which is limited, but it has some stuff. Maybe I do a mix between. Well, I don't know. I still have to make some decisions on what is going to be available and what is not going to be available. Pretty much the spirit, it's Ibiza spirit, but the layout and the features and the offerings will be a bit more minimalistic and focused on what's better. So guys, this is an open door, an open window to the future, a white canvas, and remember, it all starts with a cube. Thank you so much.